Hello. Having witnessed so many arguments over politics and goodness knows what all around me, people have missed one huge and pretty obvious thing, that however people want it, we all want the same thing. So we all want peace, contentment, freedom, love, all that stuff. We all want to feel good basically. So how do we do it? Because you would think, to see all these different ideologies and some really awful totalitarian ones, communism, fascism, you name it, they all think that their method is the best method and the only method, but take away the actual ideology, take away the root, and they all come to the same place from a different direction, because they all want the same thing. And of course it's not that easy to get what you want from outside anyway, because how you feel isn't always connected to what's going on outside. It helps. You can always feel worse if you want to by thinking crap. You can't always feel better by doing anything, because we're not designed that way. We're designed in a certain way. Our thoughts and our feelings just arise and we deal with them, and we all want to get to the same place but not necessarily realise how to do it. Now, if you follow all the teachers, I started studying Enlightenment 1997 when I first went to a lecture, and they've roughly got the answer to say that really if you're going to aim to be happy and peaceful and content, etc., all the time, or most of the time, certainly have it as your base, and all the other ups and downs are just sort of over there and not really that important. You have to aim for enlightenment. There's nothing better. The only control we have over our feelings now is to take drugs and poison ourselves. So that doesn't work in the long run. We only hurt ourselves and everyone around us. So don't waste our time doing that. Now, enlightenment, from where I've been following, most of them seem to have this Advaita, which is not two in Sanskrit, because it's just this, not two, seems to be the emphasis on losing the ego, which really doesn't mean anything to you, me or anyone else, because losing the ego, I can get you to lose the ego in a few seconds now. Basically, if I ask you who you are, now before I start, I say I'm picking up my teachings from all over the place. I'm not saying any of this is original. I'm just the one that puts it all together and puts my own bits in on top of it, etc. Anyway, so back to the practice. You want to know who you really are. You say, who am I before my thoughts come in, before my identity comes in, before my imagination comes in, my history. Who am I before you have time to think, what am I? And you're just this awareness. You're not aware of your body, your name, anything else. It's just this. Now that is not enlightenment, because your individuality has gone at that stage. No matter, for the split second before your mind comes in, you might remember who you are. Like if you wake up when you've been disorientated for a couple of seconds, you think, where am I, who am I? Then, that might be the gate, that might be the first step towards enlightenment. But, if we were told that is enlightenment, would we bother to go for it? I do not think so. It's got to be something good, because we are designed to go for the good. So, politics and all that stuff aside, everyone who's fighting and arguing over how to do things is only trying to get to the same place. But they haven't got the information, they haven't got the knowledge, and a lot of them are completely lost and won't listen to me or anyone else about it. But those people who do want to listen, who are resonating with any of this, good luck to you, because one person who learns from something and changes their mind is a miracle, really. It was the hardest thing to do in the world, as I've discovered. So if I get one person to rethink their ways, then I'll have performed a miracle, because there's millions of people out there that already learnt this and made up their mind. So there we go. So your first step to enlightenment is the loss of your personal existence as a person, because all you are is this awareness in this space. You can't see your body, you can't see your face, all you can see is everything around you. Now that is your only true existence, just by your own knowledge, your own awareness. Look, and that's what you see. You only know who you are if you start thinking about it. But that is not something which I would call a goal in itself. So all these teachers who teach enlightenment are speaking from the wrong point of view, because what happens is when you become enlightened, that becomes your identity, and there is a body and there is an individual person as well, but that's not who you are. It's just something that you make the most of from this sea of peace and tranquility and contentment. Now, how many teachers put the feelings first rather than the enlightenment. Now I do wonder if a lot of these guys actually don't feel this peace and contentment, and they're selling you something which they haven't even got themselves. You know, any old fool can lose their ego just doing what I showed you just then and keeping it like that. You don't gain an awful lot just from that alone, otherwise we'd all be enlightened, so there must be something else. So Louis with an X, that's it, that's what he changed his name to from Louis with an S, very easy to find, louis.org. Now how we do the methods to get enlightened are exactly the same. There are no specific wonderful methods that work quicker than any others. The basic method is to be aware of where you are now and what you're feeling. That's very simple, not in a tense way to you know, focus on one point and force yourself, because then you'll stop everything happening. You just got to let it go and let it ride, and just let your attention follow whatever's attracting you at the time. And that is the common thing to most methods. Then you've got, every teacher's got complicated methods, mantras. Louis got piles of stuff, others have got even more. It doesn't matter what the methods are, because the point is they do get you there. You've got to be persistent, you know, find what works for you. There isn't a single method that's the best. I think, you know, the focusing on the present is the easiest and commonest one, and may as well do that if you know, if you want to do anything else, because we can all do it easily and don't have to learn tricks or memorise anything or spend hours the day doing breathing exercises and mantras and other cockamamie stuff, which, you know, may well work, but have we got time or patience to do it? If you have, do it. If you haven't, don't think that anything is superior or inferior. Just stick to something, keep on doing it. So what Louis says is that the definition for him of enlightenment, which is something which resonates with me and the whole hippie movement, and you know, something that I grew up in and have had my roots in and will never lose, because it's all gone downhill since then, I can tell you, is that you just have two poles, the positive and the negative being fear and the positive being love. Now you don't need God or religion, because he interchanges God with love. Doesn't really matter, God, love, call it whatever you like, you know it's good. All you need to know, look at the animals sitting contented on their cushions or whatever in front of the fire. They only live in the present. They haven't got a personal identity. They don't think about the future or the past. They are content and happy. So it means it's not a thing from your mind that you need. It's something you have to, you know, escape from the mind. You don't need to understand it. You just need to be it, work towards it, aim towards it, and bring in the love. Move, as Louis says, from the fear to the love. When you cross that line of 51% into love from fear, you become enlightened. You can't go back, because your roots are now in enlightenment, in love, and that is it. Now to me, that's what I've always thought it would be. So even though, you know, the minority of teachers actually mention that type of thing, that is what I'm going for, what everyone else should be going for. Because if you're just going for losing your personal identity, then you know, we can all do that and we won't be any the wiser. So that is my thing on enlightenment. What else was I going to say today? Because we've now got at least 15 minutes. So yes, I mean, it was only variations on a theme about psychological stuff, about we are designed to think and feel in certain ways. Now you try and stop that, you know, you might as well just stand in front of the train on the level crossing, say stop, and hope it doesn't, you know, go right over you and smash you into your molecular particles, because our thoughts are one thing, our feelings are another. They are overlapping, interchangeable. They all come from a similar source, because the whole point is that if you sit as a witness, firstly your feelings are completely out of our control. Whether, you know, they come in, you can always make yourself feel worse. That's the one unfortunate trick that God, if He created us, has put in. Because if you think about bad things, you will feel bad. That is the weird thing about how you can change your feelings. You can always feel worse. I can talk people into any old crap if I want to, and ruin their lives, and I've got to be very careful that I would never dream of doing it if they don't believe what anxiety and depression are, because I can talk them into any one of those, so I understand them from personal experience. But to get someone the other way around, talk them into something good, forget it. You know, people have been trying it ever since the beginning of history. Positive thinking, changing your feelings, all that nonsense. Best you can do is to meditate in any way. Well, I said before, find a teacher, learn to meditate, keep doing it, get rid of the drugs, get rid of the alcohol, because they're a false thing, they won't actually maintain anything for you. So if you can change your thoughts, the best you can do with your thoughts is just fill in the information, because the reason that our thoughts are faulty is not anything that we can do about it, is we don't know enough about what we're dealing with. So if you make a mistake, if you don't understand what you're doing, you act on the best information you have. It's almost impossible to have all the information about anything, let alone everything. So we're going to constantly learn by trial and error, we build up a bit more, and that's how you change your thinking. It's about Albert Ellis saying that cause and effect. Once you realise what causes something else, you will no longer think the wrong way, because it's only by believing that A causes B when in fact C causes B, then you're just, you know, living under a false illusion, and you know your equation's wrong. That's nothing to do with fixing the way of thinking, it's fixing your understanding and knowledge. The two things are quite different, because your thoughts are like your feelings, they just come in and you can watch them and just see them passing by without interacting with them, and that will be showing you that your thoughts are nothing to do with you, really. They're not even you, they are just something which is generated by the mind. The feelings and the emotions are generated by the mind and the body as well. And trying to deal with them directly, you know, King Canute stand in front of the waves, and he didn't actually do it to show that he was king and he could stop them, but show his subjects that he was human and he couldn't stop them. It's the same with our thoughts and feelings. So the only way to avoid all that nonsense is to run away from them. You're not going to change them. Don't waste your time, don't waste your effort. The way you run away from them is through meditation, moving your attention in another direction. So I think I will wrap up there, because I've covered just about everything. And what I would like to do is to make this interactive. We've got a comments box, so any questions or comments, please add them, and I will reply to everything. I mean, hopefully I've made myself clear, because I've tied up lots of things that other people didn't make clear. And if I get enough of them, I will do another video actually answering them, rather than just doing them in writing. So, you know, that's summed up everything for now. Let's hope I plant a few seeds and win a few minds and hearts. Goodbye.